Uncle Daphne, my name is Beth, and I'm back today to do another live tarot reading for you guys. This tarot reading is inspired, of course, by Beltane and or May Day, and that's today. So I'm recording this on May 1st, and I just wanted to pull a few cards to see what the messages were for today. And for people who are watching, this is for all signs. Just want to say that. For those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. You can always book a reading with me through my website, oracledaphne.com. And I am still partnering with Jackery, so definitely check out the link to their website. They do solar power generators, and I really encourage everyone to get one of those. But I am partnering with them, and you can always check them out in the description box. So I am going to jump in. I am not really structuring this as a pick a card. I may do like a pick a card reading later and post it, but please know that I've done like 50 live recordings that are only getting like maybe between 30 and 50 views. So and as well as my pick a card readings, I think I've done 20 pick a card readings, and they're just not being seen. So please share these videos, please book readings, please send a donation. Everything and anything really helps at this time. This is my sole way of making a living. It's been very challenging to find a full-time job, and so that's what's happening. That's what's up. I'm gonna pull some cards because day I wanted to pull some cards from my herbal medicine deck. I'm gonna pull some cards from my trees oracle deck and see what messages come through. Interesting. So for my trees oracle deck, we got Pipal, which is about being grounded. It's also about women's health and women's fertility and pregnancy. It's just going to depend on where you're at with things. If you're female and you're watching this and you're wanting to have kids, or maybe you're watching this and you already have kids, but maybe there's like a surprise coming as far as like a pregnancy. There's something about pregnancy here with this. I also see this as kind of a card about red flags, getting red flags in a situation, getting red flags in a relationship. So those of you who are in a relationship that may have gone through several cycles, or that may have gone stale a while ago, or there may be some problems within the relationship. If you get a red flag or it's time to leave, then you need to listen to that. To me, this is listening to your intuition, listening to anything that comes up that's like says you need to get out of there, go. Okay, so it's weird because in some way the card itself, like this tree, is super grounded. Like the energy is very, very grounded. And sometimes we get ourselves into situations where we're overly grounded in a situation where we really need to leave, actually. Staying grounded is unhealthy for us if it's toxic, if it's no longer working, if it's something that's unstable, or puts us, that's not of our highest good, basically. I want to see what the Wisdom of the Trees book says about this card. It says, set aside some time each day for meditation. Sit quietly and listen to the sounds around you so that you honor each moment. Practice mindfulness, in which you are aware of everything that you do from minute to minute. It says, I can help you achieve enlightenment by stilling your mind, helping you to live solely in the moment, and therefore freeing you from all suffering. Some of you may, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, air signs, especially have a thing about where your mind is like going a lot. And I definitely recommend their like 10-minute deep meditation videos on YouTube, listening to those, relaxing for 10 minutes. It's like one of those like wind down meditation. It's just audio basically. And that's to me, that's for me the best way to meditate. And I usually end up falling asleep, or I usually end up listening it to one more time. And by the time I listen to the second time, I feel like very relaxed and my mind's gone quiet and I'm no longer in a space of thinking about everything that I need to do or everything that hasn't been done or all that stuff. So definitely recommend that. I can leave the link to like one of my favorite ones in the comments. I may be able to put it in my description box. There's a ton of other links and stuff in there. Probably is gonna get lost, but I'll try to put it in the comments for you guys so you can do that. That's how I meditate. I think it's hard for some people to just sit and do nothing. Like they see meditation as like sitting and do nothing. For me, I need to have like the guided meditation in order for me to be able to get the benefits of meditation. Um, some of you just may also have like a lot of worries and fears and stuff like, like you're in your head about something, anxiety too. Um, and some of you are moving very quickly. Your energy is moving very quickly. You also got the pomegranate, which is interesting. The pomegranate, I made my archetypes paths, my archetypal life paths. One of them is based on this card. And you can see in the background of this card, it looks like there's a shooting star back there. And to me, the pomegranate energy, or at least the energy of this card, what I see when I see this card is that things are moving very fast and that there's not a lot of time. In the sense that maybe, some of you are not going to be here for a long time, or at least it's not as long as you're thinking. And there's not a lot of time maybe to get things done as much as you would like in general. This is again a short-lived relationship, something that fizzled out, something that was only meant to be short-lived. Now, other things that can come up with this card is like, like for instance, like if you were to pick up a gig that lasted a day or 2 days, if you were to do something where, you met somebody and like on a plane and you only talked to them that one time, or you had like a friendship, but it didn't last really a year. It, kind of just fizzled out and you kind of lost touch. Things like that, short-term things. Doing things that don't really last. A lot of times, like I think of people that are pomegranate people, and they usually, you'll know a pomegranate person because they're living their life on a very fast track. I'm sorry, there's a car alarm that's going on that's really loud. They're on a fast track. They're trying to get stuff done. They're, maxing out their day. They're doing a million things in one day, and it's a lot of little things, right? I mean, the pomegranate itself has a million like little seeds. So it's like, maybe you're a details person. Maybe you are focused very much on the details of life and trying to get all those details done, crossing the T's and dotting the I's and things like that. Two, the other thing too is anytime I see a star, and you can see there's a star in the center of the pomegranate. To me, this is star seeds, but this is also friendships, having strong friendships or working on friendships. This is also the star, which is about fame and fortune. So I have read for quite a few celebrities. And, there's all different levels of celebrity, like, people say, well, someone could be internet famous. And then other people are, in Hollywood, they're working with some very well-known people, things like that, So when I say the word celebrity, it can cover a lot of different areas. There's also actors and actresses that do like voice work and things like that, or they may have like a very well-known channel, on YouTube, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're not necessarily like famous in the sense that they're not, maybe they don't have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame or anything like that, but they're still very well known. Things like that. This is also having fortune, being very focused on money and or having a good amount of material wealth too. Material wealth. The problem with this card that I see for people is that it can be frustrating that things don't solidify. It can also be frustrating if things don't last. It can also be frustrating if there are people that you meet that absolutely need to love themselves first, that they don't know how to love you. It's like falling in love with a drug addict. They don't know how to love themselves first. They can't because they haven't learned it yet, And so that's the hard part about this card. I do want to check my chat really quick. This card also may be applicable in the sense that, like, yeah, you might not be dating a drug addict, but you may love a person who's not able to love you back. It's unrequited love for whatever reason. Maybe they can't. Maybe it's something that they just can't do, or they just won't do, or they just don't have enough self-love to love you, So there's that. So we also got the Elm card, which the Elm card to me is about the sign of Taurus, and it's interesting. This came up for, I believe, my solar eclipse. I don't know if it was my solar eclipse in Taurus reading, or one of the recent readings I did for the solar eclipse. And I may have actually done another solar eclipse reading, and this came out as well. So, the moon is still in Taurus today. So anything that you can do that's very focused on, oh, hey, Ruben, thanks so much for joining. It's good to see you again. I missed you. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, I was talking about how the moon is in Taurus. Anything that you can do that's like, taking care of the house, maybe planting a few seeds in the garden, getting outside, enjoying, being outside. This is about, anything that's Taurus related. Food, family, things like that. Maybe making something, baking something, all Taurus things. Taurus do they do love plants also, so maybe you have a green thumb, or maybe you're interested in buying some plants, or starting some seeds in your greenhouse, whatever that may be. That's coming up here too. The other thing that came through to me too was diet. Some of you need to really refocus on your diet. Maybe you're considering going vegan. Maybe you're considering cutting out meat for a week. Whatever it is, there's some need to kind of re-examine your diet. I was basically a vegetarian, almost vegan, basically for, I think it was like almost a year. And, people really noticed the change in my physical features, and they noticed the change, and I noticed the change in my body, and I felt a lot lighter, and I felt a lot better. And I had gone from basically a very high protein diet, where I was eating meat like on a daily basis, to eating mostly vegetables. And but now, when I eat meat, I am very conscious about the kind of meat that I get, and I'm very conscious about how I cook that meat. And it's just one of those things. I do like to make broths, that are medicinal in nature, things like that, soups, stews. That's mostly the kind of meat, but that's what I do with the meat. It's very rare for me to actually have a burger. It's very rare for me to actually have like a steak. I do feel like the red meat specifically is good for me at certain times during my cycle, but it's not something that I eat regularly anymore, like in the way that I was. So you may want to experiment. People freak out about and kind of get obsessive about diet. They get like almost like they box themselves into these places of like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. You know what I mean? I met a lot of people that are like that. Like if they're gonna clean, then they're gonna deep clean the whole house, and they're gonna take the whole day off, and they're gonna get everything done. I mean, why can't we just do a little bit at a time? Why can't we just maybe cut out meat for a day here and there? Focus how it's cooked, focus on praying over it, focus on being grateful for it, focus on maybe planting more vegetables, being more conscious about the planet, and again, reciprocating with the planet, and being conscious of like the plants, the medicines in itself, and each plant, and having a relationship to those plants. It's to me, it's not just like, okay, we're just gonna go vegan. There's a lot more to it than just that. But why can't we just see? To me, it's developing a relationship to plants. It's developing a relationship to the people that are growing the food. It's developing a relationship to the earth. And today is May Day, and it's like, I'm talking about this, and I think it's important for me to talk about this, because people get very obsessive about their diet, and they get very particular about how they want to have their meat and how many times a week they're eating meat. And it's just like, the point here, I think, is that it's a relationship that you're having to the planet. It's a relationship that you're having to the beings in spirit. It goes farther than just you, is what I want to say. That being said, I'm going to pull some cards from my health deck. And my health deck is not necessarily, this is not treating, diagnosing, anything like that. I usually just make suggestions based on what I see. And it's interesting because this deck is not just only about plants. Or herbal remedies, although sometimes it can be. Some of you do need to eat more seafood. I'm seeing like mussels, things like that. I don't know why I'm seeing that. Clams, mussels, salmon. I actually am seeing more soup too. We have this 3 of Wands, which is the Saffron card. This is also for some of you, you're waiting for someone to come back into your life. And I feel like they will come back into your life. There is a very strong like sex connection. It's interesting. Some of you, the medicine is to have more passion, is to have more sex. And today is May Day, and it's like the Celts, they lit 2 fires to increase their fertility. So there's something about fertility here. Some of you may be focused on fertility. Again, going back to this Pipal card here. Some of you do want to get pregnant, and you may end up getting pregnant, but I would caution you, because I feel like the outcome is the 5 of Swords, which is the mistletoe card. You can see the 5 of Swords to me. This is about any cheating relationships, or getting in love triangles and third party situations. So for some of you, like, I can't necessarily say that you're going to get pregnant in this reading. I would suggest a private reading, because the outcome is this 5 of Swords. Some of you do need to get into a healthy relationship, or to start a new relationship. It's interesting because that's the medicine. Like sometimes we need to do things for ourselves that actually rejuvenates us and It has nothing to do with what we take into our body. It's about our circumstances. So again, going back to like what I said about this pie-pole thing, where maybe some of you are in a toxic situation, maybe you're interested in you have a third party situation going on. It's one of those things where it would be very good for those of you um, to get into a healthy relationship, to feel, to embrace the springtime, to embrace the new energy that's definitely present and that's coming in, that wants to come in. Some of you do need to eat more chili peppers. You may have some things going on with circulation. And some of you need to have the courage to face challenges, Some of you need to work on your blood circulation. And like, if you, I don't know, this is gonna be weird, but like I feel like someone that's watching has like low vitality. Like their energy, their vital energy is really low. And it's funny because I went to this acupuncturist once and he told me, he's like, the acupuncture isn't going to work because you don't have enough energy for it to work. Like, you need the energy itself. And I thought that was very interesting. And I didn't really know at the time what that meant. And now I really do. I really feel like going back, it's like go back in my head where I was energetically at that time. I was incredibly depleted. If I slept, I never felt like when I woke up, I felt rested. And some of you may have like a coffee problem. If you drink coffee specifically, this may be an issue. Because this does happen to me if I drink coffee. And coffee can be a vicious cycle. So, like, if you drink coffee in the morning, even if it's decaf, whatever it is, coffee related that you're drinking is fueling a cycle where it's actually depleting your energy. And if I drink coffee the next day, I usually wake up feeling really tired, really, really tired. And the coffee overstimulates your adrenal glands. So you feel a rush, but then you feel the crash. So it's actually depleting. And so some of you need to actually like, and this is going to be difficult for many, to really start treating yourself as if you are sick, as if every day you aren't well. And what would you do if you were quote unquote sick? You would maybe stay home in bed, maybe drink a lot more water, maybe have tea, herbal tea, maybe make a soup, maybe have, eat more than you normally would. Some of you need to get like actual revitalization from rest, from soup, from, distilled water. And I strongly recommend distilled water. From, maybe drinking like an herbal tea, maybe like a nettles tea. And it's funny, I talked about this in my other video. I think it was on Instagram. I don't know if maybe it was on here, where I bought some basil because I was craving this basil, like it called to me, like I got this calling. You can boil basil. Even if you boiled basil and you drank that would be better than drinking coffee. You need something that's going to revitalize you. That's what I'm seeing here. You also need to kind of get away from any kind of cheating, any kind of third party, any kind of toxic situation. Now, going back to this very interesting passion sex card. Some of you need to get back on the horse. Like maybe you haven't done it in a while. Maybe it's something that you need to focus more on. And some of you need to actually have, and this is going to sound funny, you need to actually have more romance. We are talking about chocolate. We're talking about, candles. We're talking about sex. We're talking about having a heart-to-heart conversation with people, having connection, making out. The thing about it is, and I saw this somewhere, and I don't remember where this was, but it was on one of those videos about what happens when you're in love and when, for female hormones. Female hormones, actually like your body calms down and it produces more progesterone when you're in love, when you're in a healthy relationship, when you're getting loved up on every single day. Um, and I feel like for men, it's a stress reliever. It's in some way I think this is why men crave sex. It's like something their body needs, but it's also it relieves their stress. It puts them in a good mood. It makes them feel good. So again, like if you've been very stressed out, you need to have sex. You need to find somebody to make out with. You need to maybe have a little bit of chocolate, maybe have some chili, some spicy food with some chili peppers, get your kundalini back on track. To me, it's also balancing hormones. Some of you need to maybe detox, um, you know, too. There's something about detox happening here. Let me see. Um, some of you, okay, so you got the card of the sarsaparilla card. And sarsaparilla is actually really great for anyone who has a psoriasis. I also recommend milk thistle as well. So sarsaparilla and milk thistle in combination. If you have any kind of psoriasis or you're trying to detox. For some of you, if you're dealing with a relationship, you're dealing with a player. And some of you are like, I feel like there's like some people that are watching that are very much romantics. And you may, kind of fall for people that are not necessarily wanting a relationship. And some of you, there's conflict within a relationship. Maybe you're dealing with someone who's very demanding. Maybe you have a demanding partner, demanding spouse. And that's showing up here too. There's a lot of other things, and I could probably talk all day about with this deck because I love this deck so much. I want to talk about the Yarrow card because it's my favorite card and it was the first card that popped out. And you can see there's a lot of writing on this card. And the Yarrow card is, a plant that you could like, I don't know, in some places they may actually consider it a weed. I am not sure, but like you can, mow the lawn and it'll still live. It's the kind of plant that's just very expansive and strong. And it's also like you could eat it in a salad. You could make the tea with it. It's got a lot of iron in it. You can take the supplement as like in pill form. It's just really, really great, especially for females for basically everything. But this card itself represents being really grateful for the little things in life, having achieved a lot, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying, having good meals with a person that you love, having good sex, maybe enjoying, having pets, having a beautiful home and having children with someone, having a loving partner. I feel like because this is at the center of the reading, this is like maybe something that you're wanting. This is not necessarily maybe something that you have. If you do have this, then you've, to me, like already like landed. You've already landed, and it's a beautiful spot. And I'd have to do a private reading to see if any of these other cards are applicable to you. But getting that card is generally about good health. It's about generally having good health. But I do believe good health can always be improved. And like I said, it's not going to hurt anybody in this reading or whoever watches this to treat themselves as if they are sick. And it's funny because I started to actually every single day do this every day, where I started to wake up and be like, okay, well, what does my body need? What would I take if I was sick? Would I use some nasal spray? Would I gargle in the morning when I shower? Would I use some vitamin C spray to boost my vitamin C levels? Would I be drinking, nettles tea every day, or some kind of herbal tea every day? Would I be smudging my space? Would I be lighting my candles? Like all this stuff. Would I be sleeping more? Would I be going to bed earlier? All that is basically what's needed, especially if you're older. And when I say older, 30 or more, because like who are we kidding? Like in our 20s, what were we doing? We were up all night, we were in school, we were stressed out, we were working a million jobs, all that stuff. So if you're 30 or older, and even if you're younger, it doesn't even really matter. Especially if you're younger and you start to approach your health as if you are sick every single day, and you start to think about what is it that your body needs and treat it right, then you will live a long life. Long, long, long life. Some of you, that's funny, we have this pomegranate card, and this pomegranate card talks about things being short-lived. And people do not think that they usually have more time in life than they do. Be sure to check out my legacy. I'm going to leave the link to my legacy, connect this video to my legacy video, where I talk about the things that I'd like people to remember me for if I'm the pomegranate person and I don't live for very, very much longer. So it's one of those things that I'm not saying this is going to be applicable to everybody, but I think everybody in some level does think that they're going to live for longer than they actually are. So yeah, I think this is a great place to end the reading. I'm going to pop over to Instagram and maybe do a reading over there, celebrate May Day. And I'd love to do a reading for you guys. So definitely check me out, hit me up for a private reading if you'd like. I want to double check my live chat. Just want to say special thanks to Ruben for saying hi, and I'd love to do another reading for you, Ruben, anytime. But yeah, I send everyone big hugs, big kisses, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Wish you guys all the best. Take care. Bye.